Yes, guys. And welcome back to another episode of the Bootcast podcast. This is kind of the Christmas episode. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you don't, whatever you celebrate, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, nothing. I don't know. Fuck it. But we'll just say Happy Holidays, whatever. By the time this comes out, I think it will be Christmas Day.
It'll be this is Christmas Day.
So Merry Christmas, Colby.
Merry Christmas. Thanks. Merry Christmas, Justin.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. My wife got me this beanie, so
oh, nice.
I got it early.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. So we're gonna start this like we always do. Colby, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Just had an awesome little I don't even know what you call it, like visit from Andrew Lockhart, where he and I got to hang out last week. So that was pretty awesome.
That was very good grammar.
I know. Look, it's late at night.
I was like, wow. It's like a book title.
Yeah, you got to put the proper punctuation and
Dude, I respect it. I love it. I'm not that way. I'm like a hillbilly, but I live in Texas. So, all right, man. Well, let's get into this. We're gonna get into story time. We're gonna talk about some, I guess, fun, exciting things we saw while we were out and about. We got pictures. Yeah. But this week, because we were doing like different colorways, then we started doing different jerseys. Footloose has sent me some suggestions, so we're gonna have some new things coming up as I'm gonna call it like season 2 of the Bootcast. It's gonna come out, because it's been almost a whole year. So we'll have we'll have this one, and I think we'll have one more, and it'll officially have been like a whole year, which is crazy. So thank you to everybody who listens. So Colby, let's get it going. What is your Christmas jersey pick of the year?
All right, my Christmas jersey pick, I threw a little bit of love to the MLS because I don't think we've had any MLS jerseys on here yet.
There's a reason.
I threw it back to the FC Dallas 2011 jersey. This is before they started getting all complicated, man. This is before they sold out to Advocare or whatever it was, and it just straight up says FC Dallas on the front of their jersey. I think they're with Children's Health now, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if they like Advocare just kind of fizzled out. I know that was like an MLM thing, wasn't it? Advocare, you sell a bunch of supplements.
So. I was gonna say I think that's like definitely an MLM. Yeah, these are pretty cool. Yeah. They're very Where's Waldo.
Yeah, it's Where's Waldo, but like, dude, I don't know what it is now about MLS or the jersey. They're too much. Whatever they're doing is too much, and this just I looked at this and I was like, yes, like this is what I want to go back to. Just
bland,
nice, just bland, just kind of. I'm cool with these jerseys.
That's cool. Well, we saw what was that SC Dallas thing you saw? That one shirt that you liked that had the crazy
it was cool.
pattern.
So I think every club does this. It's a cancer awareness jersey. I'll put it up. That thing was cool.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Any MLS club has it. It's just like the MLS cancer supporting. Treatment, supporting cancer treatment. Not actually supporting
cancer initiative.
Right. Yes.
Oh yeah,
yes,
that's super cool. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. That one was dope. My jersey pick is I thought about you and I was like, it's Christmas time. I need to show him some love. I went with the 06-07 Liverpool third kit. And I don't know if I picked this one before, but this is the weird white one with the blue sleeve.
Ooh,
Did I pick this one?
That one's dope. Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I picked this one before. We picked a lot of freaking jerseys, and it's kind of hard to remember. This is just one of the most out there kits, I think, ever.
I like it. I like it a lot. Like it just suits it because it's not like a straight line down. It's got like a little like pattern, little shaping there.
Yeah, definitely kind of goes with like the. I don't think that's the Team Guy Sarah, but kind of. No, it might have been Team Guy Sarah. But I just thought it was super cool. It's a really unique shade of like, that's blue to me, blue, whatever. I don't fucking know. I'm colorblind. But yeah, cool kid. I think of like super young Xabi Alonso wearing that, younger Stevie G. So yeah. There's no real significant, like, anything happened in said jersey. I just thought it was a cool looking jersey.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah, I like that, man. Yeah, I like the old Carlsberg logo as well.
Yeah, for sure. Again, crazy to me that I picked a split jersey. I've picked split things, and you're like, oh, yeah, I do love that. I love that. But when I pick split boots, you hate them.
Dude, it depends on what the split is. It depends on the split.
I think it's just one of those things.
Yeah, I saw freaking Trev, the finale, and it was Beckham versus Rotero, and freaking Rotero won. And Beckham was ahead, by the way.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah, because we let you guys come out early and get your votes in. but we all knew. That's why I even told Trev. I was like, there's not even a doubt in my mind that the Rotero's going to win.
I was furious.
It's the best boot. And even though, I commented, Noah put up his, I think it was like top 10 uppers of, he gave it like an honorable mention. So he got 6th out of the top. Oh, it was top 5. It got 6th. And it was like a dagger to my heart. He gave it a mention, and he was like, yeah, I figured it'd upset you, but he's like, there's more videos coming, so just stay tuned.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, the Rotero, dynamite. Still love it. I did go kick around in the red 25s. Still loving them. Still fantastic. Still very much not even an upgraded 24, a refined 24. I stick by that statement. So yeah. And other than that, still great boot. Still love them. You've been playing in the Beckhams.
I'm playing in the Beckhams.
How's it going?
Having a good time. Still having some heel slippage on the left boot in particular, which is the same one J-Mike has. So I'm not sure if it's a Predator thing or if it's just on the David Beckham model thing. I don't know. I didn't have any issues in the pearlized ones. Yeah. Non-tongue that I had, so I don't know.
Yeah, the Rotero doesn't have any issues. That's probably why it's that much better.
I won.
It's probably. It's that much better.
That's funny, bro.
Okay, cool. So we talked about Mr. Lockhart Boot Blog flying across the world, legitimately flying across the world to come hang out with the two of us.
Yep.
And, see his family and all that kind of stuff too. But
I know, dude. And
to hang out with us.
The next day, dude, we dragged his ass out of bed. We were like, come out all jet lagged and come boot shopping with us, which is pretty cool.
So he brought us some gifts and goodies from Japan. I think he got you a updated pair of
Destaques.
Yeah. Okay,
Asics,
you figured out how to say it. Very nice.
I don't know if I'm saying that right.
What else did he bring to show us? You showed him the Copa. He brought in those Mizuno Wave Cup SS's, which were very nice. They were hot.
The leather was incredible.
It was. Yeah. It was a nice boot. I still honestly will take my Rotero, but I can 100% confirm that's just my bias.
Right.
That's like, you know what I mean? They're like, it's like here, and the Rotero's going to win out just because of my bias. But
that's
that was
your bias.
It was a fantastic boot. The sole plate was so weird though, but like in a good
cool,
way,
bro. It was cool. I was like, please put that on like any like modern Morelia. Like it would be such a hit.
And it's crazy because didn't he say that boot was like, how old did he say it was? Like 16 years old or something like that?
It's pretty old.
It's an old boot. The only thing I didn't like was the tongue, and I told you that as soon as I put him on. I was like, that's a weird tongue.
It's weird. It's weird. It's not Velcro. It's just like it like just sits there. It's kind of like that. You can kind of pull it up a little bit. But
it's like a regular tongue, and you tie it, and then it just like it's like a skin flap. It's just like like a man boob. It just kind of hangs over. You know, that's what I thought of. And then he brought me my first pair of Adlers, so I have officially joined the Adler crew, and I kicked around in them. And so this is kind of like their. I'm guessing this is basically like their Copa Mundial. It's just like old school. There's no really refinement. It's just like basic leather and everything. They felt fantastic. But I will say this thing right here was the star of the show for me. This weird Adler insole that he gave me. I had the other thin ones, but this thing was awesome. I need to get this for every pair of boots.
Yeah.
I loved it.
He also gave us both some grip socks, but yours had like grip socks that had like little toes
the
on there.
Finger toes.
Yeah.
They were creepy. I did wear them. I think it's
Tabio.
Oh wait, here, I got them right. Sorry guys, they're inside out, but like it was weird. They were I'm not gonna lie to you, Colby. This is the hardest sock I've ever tried to put on in my freaking life. Oh my god. And then I was trying to put it in between each of my toes. And it's like one of those things where your toes aren't used to doing that. So I'm like pulling my toes apart and I'm like, that's a little stiff, but yeah, they felt great overall. It was definitely really cool. It was one of those weird sensations where it's like for the first couple minutes that I was like kicking around and running and stuff, I could feel it. But then after a couple minutes it goes away. But,
did you feel like you were like barefoot in there? Like, am I wearing a sock? Because your toes can kind of move a little bit more freely.
Kinda. I kind of did, but like I said, after a while, they just felt like a sock. So you kind of just, I didn't think too much about it. And then again, the other weird part was when you go to take them off and you like pull it off, it's like grabbing your toes. You're like, ugh. Yeah. They just had like the basic little grip elements. Nothing too crazy. But they were a cool sock. So I'm very thankful. So Andrew when you inevitably watch this. Thank you for the boots. Thank you for the Japanese goodie bags, and thank you for the socks.
Yes,
they were very much appreciated. Dude. Very grateful. Nonetheless.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah. So we ended up driving the turd around town, and we went to a couple of different boot stores. We didn't find too much out of the ordinary, but you found a pair of boots, and I found a different pair of boots at the same shop.
Dude.
And we need to talk about them.
Right. Yeah, it was wild, man, because we went into a shop. We're not going to tell you which shop it is because we don't want to get them. Don't want to get them in trouble, but... yeah, I saw these New Balance, and I was like, oh, that must be like the next colorway that's coming up. Okay, like let me go check this colorway out. And it was the next gen 442 Pro model. Mm-hmm. Is it Pro or Elite?
No,
I might
Elite.
call it Elite.
Elite's the Elite. The weird one. That's the one that caught our eye.
Yeah, so it's and I'll put a picture up on screen. It's the New Balance 442 Elite, and it looks like what they've done is they've gone with a knit collar, and they've actually, it looks like they've gotten rid of the leather on this model. Mm-hmm. And then I wonder if it's going to be just like some kind of like the leather. It felt really good, dude. It really felt like hot butter. It was nicer. I need to put them on feet, but it felt very nice.
Yes,
but it's a synthetic. It's synthetic leather.
So I'm going to come out and say this. This was the closest to Nike's Kangalite that I have felt a synthetic material feel in a while. And now it was nice. And let's talk about it because we saw two colorway or one colorway essentially. We saw the New Balance 442 Pro, and then now they have the New Balance 442 Elite, which I'm going to say is a step above. It was an increase in price. It felt fantastic. Still looks very 442, so you're not too out of the ordinary. But one thing that we noticed was the sole plate.
It's the same, guys.
This is weird. Yes. So it looks like they've reverted back to the kind of smooth 442 that was super flexible early in its lifestyle. And then the 442 Pro had the updated sole plate that had a lot more rigidity to it.
Yeah, it's got like the rigidity in the middle with like the little like, it's not like a crossbar, but it's like more, it's like an X in the middle or something.
Yeah, it's like a reinforcement for sure.
Yeah. But I was kind of disappointed, man, because I was like, oh, and I'm sure this sole plate on this model, the weight's got to be so light. It's got to be somewhere in like the 6 ounce range, like for like whatever I wear, like a 9.5. So I'm very excited for it, but I'm like, that sole plate's going to be too flexible.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great boot.
It's gonna fold like like we were saying, the upper's hot butter. That sole plate is gonna bend like hot butter.
Yeah.
So that is my worry.
Yeah, I'm looking at these pictures here. I'm wondering if like the toe box is where they use a synthetic leather. It looks like kind of a hard seam there, and so I'm wondering if behind that is like a harder synthetic to keep the midfoot.
The reinforcement?
Yeah, reinforced.
Did you get the feeling when we were looking at these of the first gen Copa Pure? Like kind of like that weird wave pattern kind of thing?
Yeah, it was interesting. And like I'll say it was really impressive. Like honestly, it's so soft. Like, if they had just put it on even if they put it on the current Tequila tooling, which I'm not sure if they could do that, it would be a lot better.
Yeah.
So
sure. Yeah, no, it was super cool. And I think when we looked at it, the 442 went down to $120, and then we saw this one for like roughly 180, I think.
Yeah.
If memory serves me right.
I know. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I wish I had the price tag on here.
Yeah. I'm like 99% sure that's what it was. But, so you saw those. You were loving them. They were pretty fantastic, let's be honest. And then my eye got caught to the new Furon. We saw the version 8 Furon. What did you think about those?
It looks very much like a Furon, obviously. Like, it doesn't look like, and we'll bring it up later, what they've done with the Tequila. But it looks, pretty much like the same. They got rid of the, I don't know what you call it. It's like that kind of compression band that goes across the hypo knit. That's like the shooting area.
Yeah,
like the.
What do they call it? A canopy.
Yeah, for the V7 model. They kind of got rid of that. The lacing's still off to the side. On the medial side, they wrote Furon spelled out, and I don't like that. Yeah, I'll be straight up. I don't like that.
I don't either. It's just like I don't need a ton of words to let me know what my boot is.
Right. Like we know what it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us. It's like when the first version of the Puma Future Z, and like on the medial side it was like I think it was stitched. It was like Future.
Future,
and it's like,
huge. And now the 7 has FTR. I think the 8 does also.
Yeah, I'm like, I know what I'm buying, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I know, like, people know what this is. When I wear it out to the pitch, like, people can just ask me.
Yeah.
They're not like looking from afar, like, oh, what's your boot say? It's like, no, like they know. I'll tell them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think. Okay, this might be a bit of a hot take, but the more I looked at them, the more they kind of remind me of the Adidas Speed Portal .1s. Like that's the kind of vibe I got for them.
Yeah.
Obviously a bit more extreme with the lace pattern on this, or the lacing going towards the outside of the foot. But the one thing that I noticed was that sole plate. A, looks fantastic. Just color.
Yeah, it looks good.
The way that they did the color gradients, but B, that might be the most aggressive sole plate on the market right now.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely looks crazy. It looks more. It's not like they're. Because what they did before was like on a lot of the Furons was like that typical chevron pattern. I don't think they really changed it. I think it might have been similar to the 6. Yeah, this is kind of wild, man.
Yeah, it looks angry.
It does look angry. It looks more aggressive than the current Ultras as well. So
for sure. And then let's talk about the elephant on the boot. That weird. What is it? What was it? Heel brake stud.
Yeah, there's like an interesting like stud on the lower left side of your boot. Like it's
I think it's towards the outside of your foot.
Yeah, the outside or whatever. Yeah, the lateral side.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the left boot here. But yeah, I'm not sure what that one's going to be for. I'm sure there's going to be like a reason for it, and they'll let us know. But you called it a brake stud. You think it's just to give you some more like stoppage?
I think that's what they're going to say. I think maybe it's a stud pressure thing. It could be a reinforcement thing, a manufacturer thing that they're like, hey, we got to fix this, and so they put a stud there. I don't know, but I think that's what the somewhere on the shoe said that. That's why I instantly knew that that's what it was. Real weird. It kind of looks like a wart or like a weird growth. So aesthetics wise, I don't love it. Maybe on future colorways I might, but yeah, it looks like per usual, New Balance is genuinely doing their own thing and kind of just marching to their own drum, and we gotta give them applause for it.
Yeah, that's what I will. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They do have like a very unique boot. Like their boots are super unique. They're not chasing anybody. They're just doing whatever they want. And that 442 Elite is definitely something that nobody else has.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for that price range.
Mm-hmm.
But while we're on the topic of New Balance, and we're talking about price range, when we were at this store, in the same exact price range, we saw it. You tried it on. You were hunting it. You found it. The Icon 2. It was the
Icon 2.
You tried them on. I didn't try them on. I didn't bother. But dude, take it away. Tell people what you thought about this boot, because again, it's $180. So we know for us, 100%, $180.
Yeah, I tried them on. I went a half size down, just like J Mike had said in his Unisport review, and they feel really nice, dude. I will say this: if you're expecting something as premium as a Mizuno Neo, like they're not. Like straight up, like the inner liner and stuff. It's nice, but it's definitely not like to that Mizuno quality, like how they do their liners, where it's like nice and kind of plush, and like when you're like opening them up, like you can really feel it. But yeah, the fit was great. Obviously that's what they're marketing towards, is like how these fit, sort of like that, like the Japanese market and how they do their boots. The leather quality felt pretty good. The AG sole plate was pretty nice. Like honestly, I'm not gonna buy them right now, but when they go down in price a little bit, when like the excluded for promotion stuff kind of wears away, I will get this boot because I will want something for AG pitches here in Texas, or when our ground gets really hard. Yeah, I'm excited for these, dude. Like honestly, these are perking my interest more than obviously like the Copa Pure 3 or the current Pred models right now.
Very nice. That's great to hear. Yeah, they looked fantastic to me. As somebody who has the Icon 1, I like the Icon 1. Like, I don't think it's a bad boot. This is a massive step up. It's one of those ones where it's like, like if you have something and you're like, yeah, this is pretty good. Like, it works fine. No big deal. And it doesn't bother you. But then you get something that's like in a whole nother ballpark, and you're like, oh, this first one sucks. Fuck this.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was with the Icon when I saw the 2. I was just like, oh, yeah, this is like leaps and bounds better.
It's weirdly like wildly different. You know what I mean? Like when it with the for the Copa Pure, for example, like with you can see the evolution of like the 1, 2, 3 and kind of see how it made it there. With like the Copa Pure, or sorry, the Copa Icon 1 to the 2, it's like this is just completely different. You could have named this something completely different.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And well, it's kind of like what we talked about with like some other brand. Well, no, actually we talked about it with Adidas. But like you go from the Predator Mutator, you go to the Predator Freak, where it's like, okay, yeah, and then it's like, here's the Edge. And it's like, what? What is this?
What is this?
And it's like, back to the accuracy. And it's like, that's a different team made that. Like, with this Copa Icon 2, you can definitely, because Andrew was even telling us, like, oh, Adidas Japan really was like, hey, let us do something with this. And it definitely seems that, like, somebody who put time, love, and effort into the Icon was like, let's make a great boot, especially at this price range. Like, they crushed it. They crushed it for $180. Like, yeah, it's not a Mizuno made in Japan. Like, we know that. But it's also, like, half the price.
Right, and Andrew said that Adidas is seriously trying to get into the Mizuno market share, because he was telling us that Mizuno, he was probably saying 90% of high school kids, because high school soccer is really big over there, wear Mizunos, and Adidas is really going after that market, and they're campaigning hard, and they're having events over in Japan where they're like handing out Copa Icon 2s to try. So hopefully they can, and they've even recreated the HG sole plate over there, which looks very good.
Yeah.
So,
well, I thought one thing that was super cool was like you had pointed out in last week's episode when we were kind of seeing early bits and pieces of the Icon. You're like, it looks very Mizuno. Like it looks like it's trying to be a Mizuno, and even Andrew was like, yeah, they did that on purpose. Like they're trying to like go for a certain market. Like, hey, we know you're familiar with this. Here's just like an alternative that's great too. And you're like, oh, and he did say a lot of people who tried them ended up really enjoying them.
Yeah, the only thing is, because he was talking to us about it, he was telling us about how much the Neos ran over there, and it was about the same price as this, and we were like, well, if you want the premium kangaroo leather and some other quality features, like you're gonna go Mizuno, but
yeah, exactly. So it's a toss up. We'll see how it kind of how it kind of goes. But I kind of want to pivot back to New Balance, because we were talking about them, we were giving love, and something that we saw, I think it was earlier today, maybe it was yesterday, was New Balance appears to have massively pivoted in the tequila market. Yeah. And I got my interest piqued. We saw old boy Harvey Elliott in them. You are not sold at all.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's just a prototype, it's just a whiteout, pre-release boot. But I'm concerned about this midfoot, bro. I'm concerned about like this medial side here, because it looks like, I mean, kind of like Hypnotic, like crossed with Umbro. Like I don't really know what this texture, this pattern's going for here. Maybe it's like a good reinforcement. Maybe it's I don't know. Like, jury's out. At this point, I think we need to give New Balance enough goodwill to say, like, look, you did amazing for the last 2.5 years with the Tequila V4, V4 Plus, and the Furon, and the 442. So, look, I'm gonna hold my opinions until the boot's actually out.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely has that pattern definitely has like that Umbro diamond aesthetic to it. I definitely thought that when I first, I was like, oh, did he sign with Umbro? But yeah, jury's out for sure. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm more cautiously optimistic than you are, but at the same time, I mean, I also remember this is the same company that had the what was it called before it was the tequila?
Oh, the Vizaro?
The Vizaro 1.
Yep.
Phenomenal. Vizaro 2, dumpster fire.
Yep.
And then the Tequila 3, remember that? I always call it the ball sack boot. Like, sorry guys, that's what it looks like.
Pimply one.
Yeah, the little veiny looking one. Not good. 4, very good. So the 5, good. I mean, brands tend to do this kind of ebbs and flows. This one could be a home run, or this could be like the worst strikeout we've ever seen. But I'm hoping I'm gonna give them, like I said, I'm gonna give them a little bit of pass for now and be like, you guys crushed it with the V4, the V4 Plus. They're surely you'll continue with that ideology, just like you did with the 8.
Well, see, here's the things that we've been talking about, and these themes keep coming up on the podcast. But for instance, Puma, like, what do we keep knocking them about? Okay, fit, heel, comfort, things like that. So like New Balance has already pretty much perfected like fit. If you go a half size up on this Kayla, the lockdown's great. The comfort is insane. Mm-hmm. So as long as you kind of stick to those 3 things, like they'll be okay, regardless of what the boots look like.
For sure. And sometimes it's just a colorway thing. Like we've seen some boots that are all white. We're like, oh yeah, that looks phenomenal. And then it came out. We were like, no, that is not it at all.
Right.
So, yeah, jury's out. We'll leave it at that.
Yep. You were talking about boots in different colorways, and a colorway that we saw maybe today, maybe yesterday. I know things are all blending together with this holiday break.
Dude, it's crazy.
But
it's crazy.
The Teamgeist Predators. Yes. Have been leaked.
Yes.
The one's coming out supposedly March 2025.
Yeah, we've seen 40 colorways already leaked. Like I saw earlier, it was like September of 2025 and then something of 26. I was like, what the? How do we have this?
It's not even subtle anymore, dude.
No.
But you saw these. I've talked to you. I said, look, man, of all the Predator colorways that I've seen so far, this one being the tongueless model to me looks very good, and that's the one I would pick out of these. And I think it has to do with the fact that with Predators, I think when the tongue and the actual upper don't contrast each other, if it's like white on white, like it doesn't look as good.
You don't think so?
It looks more like bulk. You know what I mean? Like when that white tongue sits on like that white base, it's like it's a little bulky. You know what I mean? Even if it's white gold, or white, or the Pred 24s when it was like the white on the white of the Day Spark or whatever. I was like, it needs to be a different color.
Yeah, I prefer different colors.
Same.
So let's just sort that out for both of us. Yes, I do prefer different colors, but I'm gonna have to say it, man. I don't like to say this to you, but I have to. You're wrong. The tongue model looks better. It looks phenomenal. This is gonna be that Madrid boot. This is the Madrid. I know the Teamgeist thing's coming out. Madrid's obviously sponsored by Adidas, however you want to say it. But man, think about it. Los Blancos. You're gonna see Jude, that white kit, those white socks, those white boots on.
So well,
phenomenal. And that's what I think that they're smart with their marketing of this. You got Jude, Mr. Madrid.
Yeah, Jude. Yeah, it's gonna look good, man. It's gonna look good. I don't know, bro. I like the way the tongueless model, and I don't like that on every colorway. Like I definitely think the champagne colorway right now looks much much better with the tongue. So it's only to whichever colorway you're gonna put in front of me.
For sure, it's give and take. Well, it's just like I was thinking about this earlier because we were talking about it, and like. One thing that I think is crazy is like if you go back and you look at the Precisions, right? Back in the day. They always had a red tongue. And I know that's kind of like the Predator thing is like, oh, whatever. But it's like you look at the Precision, they had the red tongue. But then you go to the Mania especially, and they all have a red tongue. The black, white, red, the Japan blue, the gunmetal, the champagne, the lunar, the fucking red ones. They all have that red tongue. So it's just like part of me wonders if like how these boots would look. Like imagine how they're not back here. Oh, sorry. Technical difficulty. But like, do you think that, for example, like the Teamgeist, all those would look as good as if they always just use like a standard red tongue? Like every colorway had a red tongue.
Oh, that's hard to say. That's hard to say, man.
Like this, like just imagine like any colorway. But it's got this.
See, that looks so good. Well, that looks so good. But I'm not sure if it has to just do with the color that's underneath it.
That's what I'm saying. Because like for me, when I look at the Mania always looks good with the red tongue, even if the red kind of doesn't really go with it. Like the gunmetal red tongue, the Japan blue red tongue.
Right.
So it's just like, I wonder like if they like, let's say Adidas came out with like the 26 and they're all this could be any color. This could be like purple. It's a purple boot, white stripes, but it's got a red tongue. You think that would work?
I think it would work. I really do. I really do. Yeah,
I do too.
It's just a signature feature of that boot. Like that would just that would work.
Yeah. See, and that's kind of like how I feel. But then part of me wondered, because things change. Because like obviously they didn't do that on the Pulse. But it's kind of like for me with the Mercurial swoosh. Like when I think of the Mercurial swoosh, I think of the big toe swoosh. Coming up the side, which I think started on the Vapor 4.
Yeah.
But like that's the kind of that one. That's the swoosh that I think of. So when I see like that in other places or other styles, I don't like it as much.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do like how brands will change it up. Like if you don't like this, like I know you really like this, but if you don't like it, like they're eventually on the next iteration or like the midlife update, they'll put one on the side. So I don't know, man, but that is something that like heritage wise is always been like a thing with everybody's always talking about the red tongues, how some tongues aren't real red, like the Japan Blue 24 wasn't like a real red tongue, was more orangey. And I think you have a point. I think it would look great. All the colors look great with red tongues.
Yeah, same here. All right, Colby. So this is gonna be kind of a shorter episode because it's the holidays and we're kind of winding down. We have a special episode coming up next week, right?
Yep.
We're gonna have a special guest. But is there anything that you want to get into before we call this episode? And if there is, also, what is your question of the week?
Is there a special like boot Christmas memory that you have as a kid?
Is there a football memory? No, I can't think of one off the top of it. I'm sure there's like a United game or something that I loved, but I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, the problem is around the Christmas period, the festive period, if you will. There's just so many games and so many things happening that I think things kind of get lost. But I will say that, interestingly enough, they always have these statistics where it's like, oh, if you are at the top of the table at Christmas, no team has ever finished outside the top 4, like stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, isn't it one of those things too where I think it was Arsenal last season or season 4 was the first team that was at the top by a certain date and then still lost lost the title.
Yeah, I believe that.
I mean, man,
season. God, just happy to see Man City still collapsing.
Also, 1-12, that's terrible. Can we talk real quick about that Liverpool Tottenham ass whooping?
Yeah, we can.
Was crazy.
It was lovely. It was lovely.
Crazy.
Dude, Mo Salah is still producing at 32, 33 years old. Dude, that guy's going to get a new contract. He's 100%.
This could be I'm going to jinx it. I don't care cuz I don't care about Liverpool. This could be Balance d'Or year.
For Salah?
Yes.
Oh man, I hope
he's
so.
Cuz think about it. Vinny's kind of still injured. Rodri's done for the season, so he ain't winning it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
are they going to get
Jude isn't scoring the same way, so people aren't looking at him as like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I think this could be if he wins the Premier League and we're doing well in the Champions League. I don't want to jinx it either, man. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, man, like it's going. Everything is going pretty well.
That's great.
Man City are dumpster fire done. They haven't won a game like
1-12.
Yeah, it's so horrible.
Kid, I want to know how Pep still has a job.
Dude, I'll tell you why.
It's like I give him good grace, but it's like, dude. Like, imagine any other manager right now. Any manager besides Pep is 1-12.
Dude, if any Premier League club would bite your hand off if you told them, I will win you 6 Premier League titles within 10 years, but we're going to have an absolutely atrocious year, they'd say, I don't care about that. Yeah, well, I'll take all the titles.
This is kind of like third season Jose for me. It's like first 2 seasons you're on fire, like, oh my god, I love this, and then third season hits and you're like, oh my god, I want to blow my brains out.
Yeah, Jose's wild.
Jose's
wild. And Postecoglou may have to find a new job pretty soon.
Dude, I saw these crazy stats about him, and basically it was like every defensive stat possible, he's 20th. It was like most shots conceded, most time spent in their own final third. It was like all these crazy stats. And it was like poor Ange, like 20th, and I was like, oh my god.
there was I think it was like a goal kick or something from Allison to straight to like Szoboszlai, and Szoboszlai I think didn't end up scoring off of it, but it was like, how easy is it to get past your defensive? Like, you can, from a goal kick, make a through ball to Szoboszlai and he can almost score. Like, that's great. That's such cheese. Like, your defense is such
insane.
cheese.
Like, yeah, something about Tottenham and going like straight through the center. They're just like open as hell. It was crazy.
So what do we do?
And like y'all could have realistically won that game like 16-1.
Mm-hmm.
But you gave them some consolidation goals. But even then, I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And we lost 3-0 to Bournemouth. But it's just like.
And is Marcus Rashford going to leave
probably
next month?
But like, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Bournemouth United. Everybody's like, was kind of texting me, giving me a hard time. I'm like, listen, Bournemouth is in 5th, and we're in 13th. Like, that makes perfect sense that they dunked all over us.
Yeah.
Like,
but
realistically,
historically big club with a ton of money.
But like, that's what we were talking about. Was just like, this table is wild this year, and like the points gaps are like mental.
Yeah,
mental.
It's wild.
Yeah.
In clubs that are supposed to do bad did well. Like Chelsea is crazy. Yeah, I was happy they tied though. I'm starting to get nervous about Chelsea.
Yeah. They're like I said, they're the steady horse. They're the little horse, but they're in this race with you.
If they finish top 4, it's a good season. It's a good season for them.
It's a very good season. All right, Colby. Before we get out of here, my question for you is, what is your favorite film of all time?
Oh, that is good. I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan.
Oh, nice.
So obviously, like Dark Knight, The Prestige. I really like Tenet, Inception. All like anything Christopher Nolan makes like is awesome. I never saw Interstellar. It's the only one I need to go see. But
I think it's in theaters right now. But okay, so that's wonderful. Thank you for telling me who your favorite director is. But pick one movie. If you had to pick gun to your family's head.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Great answer. Good answer. Mine's Fight Club.
Oh, it's a great movie.
All-time favorite film.
Oh,
love that movie.
Oh, plot twist is amazing.
So profound. So profound. So hilarious. Visually so stunning. Love that movie. But yeah, that's it. Colby, tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Kicking with Colbs on Instagram and on YouTube.
You can find me at Texas Cleat Collector on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can find us at Bootcast Pod on Instagram. And as always, go down below, comment, like, sub, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment of what is your favorite film of all time. And as always, we will see you in the next episode. Take care.
See you guys. Merry Christmas.